What's up, Southside Youth? Welcome to church. Welcome to small group. Hey, I hope you're having a great day up at the Redstone and Commerce campus. It's Pastor Dalton here at the Redstone campus. Today, we're going to be starting our Living as the Church series. Last week, we celebrated Birthday Sunday, so this week technically is week 2, but we're going to dive right in. Hey, have you ever asked yourself this question? What do I do when I don't know what to do? There's so many times in my life I could look back and be like, man, I just don't know what to do in this situation. It could be a good or bad thing happening in my life. It could be something really extremely good. Like I remember my college choices. Those decisions were really hard because it was like, there's a lot of pros here and there's a lot of pros here. There's some cons at both, but like, God, which one's the best? There's tons of other decisions about, like, I remember being invited to a team that I never thought I would make, but there was some cons to that decision. Is this the right thing to do? Because when I join the team, I'm now going to have to give up church. There's a lot of decisions we have in life, and even as a middle school student, there's going to be a lot of decisions that hit you with this choice, and you might not know what to do. Well, today I believe the Bible is going to show us an important step on where to go when we don't know what to do. Check this out. In Acts chapter 1, we see Jesus talking to his disciples, his boys. And in this moment, he's talking to them and he's sharing his heart with them. And then Jesus just ascends. He says, hey, I'm going to be with the Father, but I'll send you someone to help you. So Jesus ascends and the disciples are just watching him. And I just imagine them being like, and just staring there. This out what the scripture has to say about this. After he said this, meaning Jesus said this to the disciples, he was taken up as they were watching, and a cloud took him out of their sight. While he was going, they were gazing into heaven, and suddenly 2 men appeared in white clothes, and they stood before them. They said, Men of Galilee, why do you stand looking up into the heavens? This same Jesus who has been taken from you into heaven will come in the same way that you have seen him going into heaven. You see, this moment could have been a moment where the disciples said, okay, whoa, first off, craziness. But 2, they could have said, man, I don't know what to do. What do I do from here? But the cool thing is this, that Jesus they had walked so closely with for 3 years, their response shows that they had a strong relationship with him. Check this out. This is in the next section of scripture. It says, in verse 12, they returned to Jerusalem from the Mount of Olives, which is near Jerusalem, a Sabbath day journey away. When they arrived, they went to the room upstairs where they were staying. Peter, John, James, Andrew, Philip, Thomas, Bartholomew, Matthew, James, the son of Alphaeus, Simon the Zealot, Judas, the son of James. They were all continually united in prayer, along with the women, including Mary, the mother of Jesus, and his brothers. The disciples show us something important, and I believe this comes from a strong relationship walking with Jesus. When Jesus leaves them, it could have just shook them. It could have been like, what do we do now? You know, there's so many choices. God, where do you want us? All these things. But instead of sitting around and stressing out and worrying about these things, which happens to all of us, they did something really cool. They go home, and what happens next is that they pray. They start to seek out God. God, show us what you have for us. And this is important. You see, friends, they realize that obeying God is so important. It's the most important part of their faith. Obey God and leave the rest to him. They didn't know what was next, but they knew that if they obeyed God and they prayed, that God would eventually give them an answer. Today in small group, we're going to be talking about this idea. What do I do when I don't know what to do? And the challenge I have for you is to seek God, to seek him in his word, to pray like the disciples did in this moment, but to seek out God and obey him and trust that he has an answer for you. Love you guys. Can't wait to see you here next week at Southside.